So this billionaire space race seems to be in full swing and showing no real signs of stopping. His Sirship Richard Branson took his little rocket plane to the suborbital edge of the atmosphere, and Jeff the God King Bezos has ridden his throbbing liquid-fueled tallywhacker to the very edge of space, and Emerald Mine Air and walking SEC violation Elon Musk is sure to follow on with his own orbital penetrator in short order. And somehow from my perch on this pandemic-ravaged, half-burning, half-drowning little blue marble, I don't feel terribly inclined to celebrate the construction of these modern pharaoh's latest pyramid projects. I don't know. How do you feel about it? I guess I need a drink. When you talk about space and drinks, the key cocktail, I think, to look at is something called a Saturn. It's a tiki drink. It was invented in 1967 by J. Popo Galsini for the California Bartenders Guild competition, where it took first place. It's a solid tiki drink. It's built specifically as an homage to the space race, with a reference to the Saturn V, Saturn V rocket, and it uses gin, which is, of course, unusual in a tiki drink, and therefore it's always fun. So for process, there's a couple of ways to make this drink. You could shake it, or you could blend it into a slushy, but most agree that flash blending in a drink mixer is probably the best approach. A drink mixer is like this thing. Hamilton Beach is probably the most well-known, but Waring makes them too. But Waring makes this is like a commercial grade one. You probably don't want to buy this for home. I guess I'll put a pinned comment below with a link where you can pick one up in a Jeff Bezos exclusive affiliate link, because I don't make the rules to this hell reality. I just live by them. Yeah, anyway, so this is overkill. You probably just need a normal household Hamilton Beach type unit. This thing is insane, actually. It's ridiculous, but I am glad to own it. They're also more technically called a spindle mixer, or spindle mixer, even though I think most people call them drink mixers or a milkshake machine, because it's got this spindle with these two little discs down here, and they just have like ridges or something on them. There's no blades, usually, just bent little metal discs. They are actually right at home. In fact, staples in tiki bars. Jeff Beachbum Berry probably should get a lot of credit for popularizing this. I was introduced to it as a tiki device by Martin Kate in the Smuggler's Cove book. He swears by these as well. Let's build a Saturn. Let's build the Saturn. Let's just build this Saturn drink. I'm thirsty. I gotta talk about space people. We're gonna put some lemon into our tin. We're gonna need 1 ounce of lemon juice goes into our drinks tin. Next we need some passion fruit, which I think can be kind of a tricky ingredient to come by. If you've ever had to process actual passion fruits, they're a pain in the butt to work with. But I discovered a little while back that Whole Foods sells it in frozen chunks, and it's perfect. It's really good. So score another one for Jeff the God King Bezos, I guess. You did it. 1/2 ounce of passion fruit. You can go a little short on that. Not everybody loves passion fruit, but I like it, so I'm gonna go for the whole half. Now I need 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. Here we go, and in she goes. And I need 1/2 ounce of orgeat. My favorite commercially available orgeat is Small Hand Foods if you're not going to make your own. And I guess I'm not making my own today. So 1/2 ounce of orgeat. The fats congeal on that one. I like that. Now I need 1/2 ounce of Velvet Falernum. Falernum is I guess you'd call it a liqueur that you could make yourself. I made it once and I had bad results with it. And ever since then, I've just stuck with John D. Taylor's Velvet Falernum. It is what I find called for the most, certainly, versus homemade. And it's great. There's nothing wrong with this at all. And now I need 2.5 ounces of London Dry Gin. I'm gonna go Tanqueray for this one. Pour 1/2 ounce. And a twofer. I don't think I've ever used Tanqueray on the show. I like Tanqueray. Tanqueray is great gin. Nothing wrong with Tanqueray at all. Okay, so now I'm gonna get some ice in here. Specifically, we're gonna use crushed ice, and then we're gonna crack 1 ice cube and just kind of have that be what Martin Kate calls agitator cubes. So let's get our crushed ice in. I thought I was gonna have to crack some ice in there, but you know what? Some of those pieces of crushed ice were actually pretty big, so I don't think it's necessary at all. And we're gonna flash blend this for between 5 and 15 seconds, depending on how it looks and my personal preference, right? Okay. And there we go, 15-second flash blend. It might have actually been a little bit long, really. And so here we have our glass. Let's pour that in. Oh yeah, that looks great. That looks phenomenal. And that is our Saturn drink. You can serve this in a lot of different glassware. I think like one of these little snifters is perfect, but honestly, if you don't have one, use whatever you got hanging around. The garnish for this, though, that's the one thing where I feel like that has become pretty standardized. And the trick for that is we're gonna pull a lemon peel. or lime peel. Lime peel will be good for the color, but we're gonna go with a lemon. And we're gonna try and make it nice and long and pretty wide too. So you're gonna take your lemon peel and we're going to make a loop, and we're going to go through both ends of that loop. You've got Saturn and its ring, and that is how this drink is typically garnished. You know, honestly, I do think that like we just need another little color in that, right? It's a tiki drink, so what the heck? You can't go wrong with an umbrella. I'm gonna put an umbrella on it, just to make it look good, just to give it a little color. There we go. That's looking a lot better. And there we have a Saturn. Let's see how this guy came out, the Saturn. Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's a fun drink. That passion fruit and gin lemon combination is way better than you would think it is. I mean, that is such a great surprise flavor. Your brain would never go there to put those things together, but they go together really well. They can be a powerful flavor, right? Gin, passion fruit, and lemon. A lot of acidity. Technically, I'm not sure if passion fruit is acidic or not, but it does have that kind of tart flavor, so I think it's acidic. So while you might be thinking that, oh man, there's a lot of simple syrup and the Velvet Falernum is sweetened, and then you've also got Orgeat in there, or Orgeat in there, it might be too sweet. No, it's perfectly balanced. In fact, it doesn't really register as sweet at all. It comes across as fresh, tropical, tart. Really good drink, really good. Much greater than the sum of its parts. It is passion fruit forward. I love it here. Really great. Just an absolute delight of a drink. Anyway, that's the Saturn, a drink that was invented to celebrate the space race back in 1967. And now let's talk about the Billionaire space race. I don't know about you. Personally, this whole Billionaire space race fills me with questions. Such as, how would a guillotine work without gravity? And now that I think of it, maybe that's their strategy here. If you follow my Twitter, you may have seen that I had some, shall I say, hot takes on the subject. And I did get some pushback on that, and look, I get it. I was a complete space kid while growing up. The movie Space Camp came out in 1986, and I begged my parents to send me for years until my grandmother came through with the loot and sent me when I was 8 years old. And let me tell you, it was fucking awesome. It was fucking awesome. It was basically a religious experience for me. I was so into it, I didn't even care that they gave me the lamest job in our mock shuttle mission. I was in ground control. Didn't matter. I was in paradise, you know. I was the ground control officer. Had to turn on the solid rocket boosters and then trigger them to disengage. And I think I had one job on re-entry, but mostly I just sat there. It didn't matter. Happy as a clam. When I came back to school, my 4th grade teacher let me show the VHS of my space camp experience to class because she fucking hated me. She canceled recess to make the rest of the class watch me at nerd camp. And while that would follow me around for years, at that point in my life in 4th grade, I didn't know that. I was just a mega giant space nerd who was still riding the high of spending 2 weeks at Kennedy Space Center doing pretend astronaut shit. So when people have all these warm and fuzzy feelings about the space program or the Billionaire space race or the actual space race in general, I mean, I too am completely susceptible to that. It doesn't even matter. The space race was literally a public relations psyop to garner support for the development of intercontinental ballistic missile technology. But the rockets that the Mercury astronauts were riding were the same ones that we were developing to deliver H-bomb payloads, rebranded V2s that we now called Redstone rockets, developed by Werner von Braun. But the whole thing had nothing to do with a good-natured scientific competition between two worldviews to see which was better at harnessing the magical spark of human ingenuity, but rather it was a mad dash to see which world power could build a better network of Armageddon devices first. I guess I just kind of wonder why these guys are so busy blowing all this money on their personal space programs. I mean, sure, there's plenty of practical applications for affordable near-Earth orbit launch systems, but Elon at least claims he's going to go build a colony on Mars, and I mean, what does he expect to find on Mars that he can turn a profit margin on when you consider the expense of climbing up one gravity well, down another, staying alive in one of the most inhospitable places you can imagine, back up that gravity well and across the cold void of the abyss, and down again, but whatever, surely he's engaged in an honest, good faith effort to establish a permanent campsite on Mars and not just stock manipulation schemes in search of military contracts. I know I'm personally super excited by watching our corporate god kings accomplish the impossible dream of going pretty high and very fast. People online tell me that obviously this is the first step in our necessary evolution to a spacefaring species. But I'm just stuck on this like nightmarish hyper-feudalism of literally being dependent on your boss for oxygen. I keep coming back to the impossible economics of the thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, being a spacefaring civilization doesn't sound like a terrible idea. It just kind of sounds impossible. I'm not going to quote numbers here because I guess I was lazy, but sure, I'm aware of things like the Albuquerque warp drive and other exotic concepts that are mathematically, physically possible. It's just that they tend to be dependent on having a supply of literally infinite free energy, which makes me think maybe NASA was onto something when they had a black magic occultist and protege of Aleister Crowley, Jack Parsons, running the Jet Propulsion Lab. Sadly, Jack detonated himself in a mercury fulminate explosion trying to conjure a moon child. That is a 100% true story, by the way. People say it's vital to our survival that we get off this planet and colonize others, but I mean, realistically, once humans relocate to Alpha Proxima, or really more likely someplace a lot further away, it's not like we're ever gonna see them again or even speak to them. There's no us in that equation. It'll be cold comfort to you as the acidic waters of a burning Earth wash over your home and you think, at least maybe our species continues out there in the stars. Hell, you can tell yourself that now. It'll be just as useful and just as true. Looks like I need another drink. And I think the perfect drink for this is something called a Billionaire. I mean, of course. The Billionaire. This is a weird episode, guys. We're trying this drink in the news thing. I don't know. The Billionaire comes from the exceptional New York bar, Employees Only. I think that they took Best Bar in the World at Tales of the Cocktail like 5 years in a row or something. It's meant to be their answer to actually a group of Prohibition-era drinks called Millionaire cocktails. And I think that's really the only way to describe those drinks as a group. There's a group of them. They all have different origins, the Millionaire cocktails. They all have the same name. They're all from around the same time, and they all bear no resemblance to each other at all. I think it was probably just a very sellable name during Prohibition, the Millionaire cocktail. There was probably more than the 5 that I think we know of. You know, every town probably had one. Anyway, Employees Only figured these days Billionaire is more relevant, though maybe now Space Billionaire or Trillionaire or something like that. There is one sort of trick ingredient in this drink. They call it Absinthe Bitters. It's made by combining 3 cups of Pernod Absinthe, half a cup of green chartreuse, a teaspoon of Peychaud's bitters, a teaspoon of Angostura bitters, and 2 tablespoons of mint bitters from Thie Brothers. You put that into a bottle, gently mix it up, and there it is. So for this actual cocktail, you're gonna need a shaker, and we're gonna put into the shaker ½ ounce of simple syrup. Then I need 1 ounce of lemon juice. I still have this lemon cut from before, so we can probably get 1 ounce out of that. 1 ounce of lemon juice. Now I need ½ ounce of Campari, which I keep right here. ½ ounce of Campari. Now I need 1/4 ounce of that Absinthe Bitters mix. Now I need 2 ounces of a barrel-proof bourbon. They actually strongly recommend Baker's 107. 2 ounces of this. We're gonna get some ice and shake this up. 1 itty-bitty cube. Strain this into a coupe or a Nick and Nora glass. I'm gonna go with this Nick and Nora. Anyway, I think there's a couple ways you could garnish this, but at Employees Only, they do a lemon wheel, and that's fine by me. I'll try to make a nice thin one. When Leandro did it on his channel, he used a dehydrated lemon, which is really cool. Hi, Leandro. Okay, put my lemon wheel there. Perfect. Actually, it does look really nice, doesn't it? And there it is, the Billionaire cocktail. And I want to say this is as served at Employees Only, but here's the thing. This is the version that shows up in the book of their drinks that they put together called Speakeasy. I think Dushan Zadok gets the main credit for this particular drink, but I've also seen videos of bartenders at Employees Only making a drink that they call a Billionaire that has grenadine instead of Campari, and that would bring it a lot closer to the particular version of the Millionaire that they were kind of riffing on when they came up with this. Maybe those videos are just ancient and they're much earlier in the drink's development. I'm not really sure. Anyway, let's see how it came out, but first I think a toast is in order, and if you'll allow me a bit of accent on this. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. Anyway, the Billionaire from Employees Only. Woo! Woo! What a drink. Very absinthe, but not, I mean, the absinthe is pretty up front, but it's not it's not the only flavor you get, which is tricky because there's quite a bit of absinthe in here, I think. Well, the Campari is present as well. It has this dry bitterness and it dries out as it goes. It gets very earthy, very rooty, very, not gentian, but in that space, that herby, rooty, herbal bitterness. It is bitter, tart, Salivating. There is a strong dose of black licorice flavoring. Very nice. It's a bracing drink. This is a bitter-forward aperitif kind of cocktail. Certainly very dry, not sweet at all. Ooh, it's a fascinating drink. Delightful. And that's the thing about these guys in the space. I feel like, are they building pyramids? They just want to be remembered? Is that what they're doing? Are they afraid of their own mortality, which they should be fine, or they're themselves? Are they not comfortable looking in the mirror, maybe, and so they just want to get into the void of the emptiness, the abyss, maybe? I don't know. I think that if it's pyramids, if they're trying to build something lasting, I think there's better things they could do. Man, Jesus. There's better things they could do. Didn't Jeff Bezos, doesn't he sit at the top of a global supply network? Wasn't there a major problem with getting vaccines around the planet? Couldn't he solve that instead? Couldn't that happen? We would all love him for that too, if he just vaccinated the earth. That'd be great. Wasn't there a desertification? Isn't that a problem? What if you just solved the problem? What if you took your colossal, I have so much money I may as well go to space money, and instead said, I'm going to end the wildfires on the West Coast. I'm just gonna dot the coastline with a bunch of desalinating humidifiers and just pump huge amounts of ocean clouds up and over the mountains, and we're gonna make it so it's not desertifying anymore. There's no more problem with these wildfires. We're just gonna jack the humidity level way up. What if you did that? Why? What if you did that? I think we'd like that. I think we would get on board with that. My God, you just take that money and you stuff it up in a rocket and you blow it up and you shoot yourself up and you're not even getting to orbit. Oh God, how embarrassing for you. Not even orbit. Ugh. Just get therapy. Get therapy, Bezos, Musk. Honestly, Branson, I don't know about you. You seem okay, but you give me the willies. I mean, and I use okay in a very loose term here, you know. I just think there's got to be something better they could be doing with that money. Something useful. I don't know. Feeding people. Why not that? Putting people in houses. Why not that? I think that's a great meme. Today is another day that Jeff Bezos decided not to end world hunger. He could. He has enough money, and I know that somebody right now is typing up, but it's a supply chain delivery problem. But that's literally his bread and butter, is solving rapid global supply chain problems, right? That's what Amazon is. And also the backbone of the internet. It's unavoidable. And he could do that. But, you know, I guess it's very important for him to go very fast, pretty high. Very fast, pretty high. I'm going to try drinking the news. I don't know if anybody's going to like this. You guys are going to hate this episode. It's fine. If you hate this episode, that's fine. I hope you don't. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy this. That's how I feel. Is this political? Is it political to say that Billionaire's bad? It shouldn't be. Probably for some of you it is. I got there's going to be a pinned comment below. It's going to have affiliate links that go to Amazon. Okay, is that hypocritical? Yeah, sure. But you know the thing is that I'm a weak person. I have to live. That's HTD. Drinking the news. For the drinking the news segments, should I get like a jacket and like a turtleneck or something? You know, some 3x5 cards I can stack around here. You do that. It'll be fun. All right, see you soon with another episode of HTD. Bye.